When entrepreneurs are starting out, should they avoid dating?
Dating is actually a skill set, right? It's just like marketing. Like you need to learn how to be attractive.
What's average living cost in Thailand?
2-3K USD, man. But you want the high end, bump that up to 10K for sure.
When starting out, how many cold calls were you making per day?
I make 100 dal.
Like, on which floor is your apartment located?
43, so pretty high up.
Damn.
Yeah.
And like, how much are you paying for this apartment?
In USD, it's around 650.
Oh,
Yeah.
If someone is looking to make at least 10K per month from their digital marketing agency, I think they can easily do it with 100 cold calls per day.
Not depending on the cold call you made. It's really depending entirely mostly on the offer.
A lot of people consider that the real estate is a competitive niche. Is that true?
There's no such thing as competitive niche. It's only such thing as bad offer.
Hello guys, welcome to the second episode of the AdSense podcast where we are interviewing entrepreneurs, and today we have a very special guest with us, Rico Khang, who is a digital marketing agency owner where he works with real estate agents. So Rico, welcome to the podcast.
Hey man, what's up? What's going on? Thank you so much for having me on the podcast.
Thank you. Everything is good. How's everything in Thailand, man?
It's great, man. It's great. I moved here 2 years ago from Australia, South Australia. So yeah, I mean, like such a big difference in terms of culture, food, people, language, and yeah, it wasn't a country that I been here before, have no family or friend, and yeah, I mean, it's very, very different experience, but it's great. To answer your question, it's great. Thailand is great, the weather is great, the food is great, and the people is great.
Awesome. So when you moved here from Australia, did you already have a business or did you start it when you moved here to Thailand?
Yeah, that's a good question, man. So obviously when I move to a country that is a strange country to me, I want to make sure that my income is actually stable, and it has to be an online income, meaning that if I was a teacher or a dentist, I wouldn't be able to move. That means I have to find a teacher's job or a dentist job in Thailand, which is going to be low paying than what I was in Australia. So I start my business around 4 years before moving. So it takes me actually 4 years to build up a substantial income to be able to move to a foreign country. And it could be any country I want, but I just decided to pick Thailand because it's closer to Australia. You know, it's in the same time zone or similar time zone, and it's very proximate. You can travel to Singapore, to Japan, to Dubai, even to Europe quite short. So that's the reason why I picked Thailand. But to answer your question, man, I did start my business before I move in, and I would recommend that anyone listening should do the same, right? They should have an income before you start moving out and live on your own. Yeah.
Awesome. So Vico, from what we have seen on social media, like Australia looks like much more good in infrastructure and everything as compared to Thailand. So like, why leave it and move over to Thailand?
Yeah, man, that's actually a good question. I think that's a big misconception. That's actually a big misconception there. Have you been to Bangkok, Thailand?
No, but I plan on coming soon.
That's great, man. Make sure you hit me up. Yeah, that is a big misconception. And my parents, obviously, my entire family think the same thing, where they ask like, why the hell you move from a rich country to a poor country? But that could not be further from the truth. For example, there's actually 100,000 or 200,000 of foreigners living here, and these are right really, really rich foreigners. Like they making 100K, you know, even 1 mil a month, and I meet them when I going out to network, and they decide to pick Bangkok, Thailand. The infrastructure here is nowhere. It's better than Australia. Like the biggest city in Australia is Brisbane and Sydney, Gold Coast and Sydney. And I've been there. I've been to Sydney. I've been to Gold Coast. They have maybe a little bit of skyscraper, but in here everywhere is a skyscraper. And Like for example, entering my condo, I don't need a key. Everything is face scan. There's like you they just like a camera seeing your face, and the door is open. Those technology like I don't have in Australia. And mind you, I don't even live in a top city in Australia. I was living in a very small city. It's called Adelaide, South Australia. So I was carrying keys around. I was carrying wallet, So the technology here is way better. There's way more bar, way more high-end food if you want to experience life. There's infinity pool everywhere. And yeah, I mean, I can't say that the same for Australia. And people living in Australia thinking this is a poorer country, you have to come here and visit and see it for yourself. Now, mind you, there's a countryside, there's like people really poor. The thing about this, I mean, like you're from Asia, like this rich is really rich and the poor is really poor. That's what they see in the media. They see the poor side of it. But the richest people here drive Bentley and Mercedes. There's so much BMW and Mercedes in Bangkok Street. You should come and look. Like there's so much Mercedes and BMW, man, and Lexus and all that stuff. And you go to Australia, there's just Toyota and Honda.
I totally agree with you on that part. Even like when I think I mentioned you before. Right now, I am operating from Baku, which is located in Azerbaijan. Like everywhere we see Lamborghini, Range Rover, BMW, Mercedes, and like when I tell that to my clients in US, they are just amazed. They're like, that's not so common over here as compared to it's over here. Like Azerbaijan, Baku is also in Asia, so yeah, man, I agree on that part.
Yeah, it's just sad that the rich is really rich, but the poor is really poor. So if you look at it from a good side, meaning that if you live in the city, Bangkok, you can travel to the countryside and pay like next to nothing for a holiday and still enjoy like nature and beach and stuff. And it's really, really cheap on the countryside as long as you leave Bangkok, And one more thing is that I track my monthly expense, like how much I spend to live. I'm spending 2 times as much here than I was in Australia. When I was just living with my parents, I'm barely going out. Not because I can't, it's just there's not much to do. Like in Adelaide, a lot of stuff close at 5 p.m. Every shop closed. So even if you have money, there's not much opportunity to spend it. So I live here in a poorer country, quote unquote. I spend twice as much, if not 3 times as much, than what I did in Australia. So coming here, there's a lot of YouTube videos saying save money, come to Thailand, save money. But no, I actually spend more money living here and way better quality of life. So like I said, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that live here and then they make 100K, 1 mil a month. Not uncommon. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So Vico, what's average living cost in Thailand?
Yeah, like 2-3K USD, man. That's like average. But you want the high end? You want to go high end? You can bump that up to 10K for sure.
And what was it in Australia?
I think for Australia, for me, it's like maybe like 1K, 2K. I was living with the parents, and that's Australia dollar. But when I come here, I count everything as USD. Yeah.
And we have heard a lot about your apartment. We have seen in your Instagram reels where, like, on which floor is your apartment located?
43, so pretty high up.
Yeah. Damn. Yeah. And like, how much are you paying for this apartment?
Dude, you'll be surprised. Like, I think in USD it's around 650.
Oh,
yeah. And in Bangkok, I'm pretty sure there's a Sky Train. Like it's like a public transport like Singapore that you could just, as long as you live near the Sky Train, you can go anywhere. Yeah. And most condo have common area like pool and gyms all included in the rent. So I think that's yeah, I'm not sure how other country work, but in Bangkok, that's very basics, that every condo is next to a public transport. You can walk to it, and then every condo have sauna and spa and movie room and theater and all that stuff all include. So yeah.
Rico, we have heard that Bangkok, Thailand is very famous for party and booze. So like as an entrepreneur, how do you keep yourself focused and not get distracted?
Well, I'm still going to party, so for sure. Like I'm not like an exception. It's just that, you got 7 day, you had one day that you go party, and you have 5 day that you just focus and focus on your vision and all that stuff. I don't believe, being too strict with your vision and all that stuff. You should go out and enjoy. And yeah, I go to party, but I just don't drink. So I don't drink alcohol, I don't smoke and all that stuff. um yeah, it's just good to live in a place where you have a lot of options. There's party that you can go there and get drunk and get wasted, and there's party that you can go in and network with other entrepreneurs and have a little bit of fun, like, laughing and all that stuff. That's the party that I go to.
So not drinking definitely keeps you more focused as an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you do too, right? As
Yeah, I
Muslims.
also don't drink.
Yeah. I never have any issue because I never start drinking when I was young. So I really not a big thing for me because I never get started in the first place.
Amazing. Love to hear that. So yeah, let's come back a little bit to the business side. So we know that you have a company where you help real estate agents with all the advertising stuff. So when someone is deciding to start a digital marketing agency, they're very confused whether they should serve real estate agents, chiropractors, doctors, local businesses, whatnot. So what made you decide that you have to work with real estate agents in particular?
Man, you're coming up with some really good question there. So to answer your question, man, we didn't decide. We start off with jewelry, obviously. We start off with jewelry, and we'll stick with it for a year, and we just couldn't get any client. So the reason why I personally go in with jewelry because I was a jeweler myself, and that's what most people start to do. Like if they have an accounting background, they go into accounting niche, right? But you have to really look at the market side, and this is not really hard, guys. You can ask ChatGPT these days, or you can ask Google or whatever. Just do a little bit of research. How many jeweler, how many chiropractor, how many dentists is in United States, is in Australia? So then you get an idea of the market side. Now the number that you want to look at is that you want to have something at least minimum 200k. You want to have 200k of chiropractor somewhere that you can target. If it's smaller than 200k, it would be very hard. Keep in mind that 200k might sound a lot, but if you're looking at real estate agent, there's like quite a lot. Like in Australia alone, there's 250k of Australia real estate agents. So you want to be looking for a chunk size like 100k or 200k worth of market size before you actually decide to go. And the second thing to look after is that you want to look for high ticket. Jewelry fit that. Each jewelry ring is 5k, 6k. Engagement ring are not cheap. Real estate agent also fit that. Solar also fit that. So that's exactly what we did. We did jewelry, then we did solar, and then we transitioned to real estate. They're all high ticket. I have no experience doing gyms or restaurant, even though there's a lot of people have success with it. But I like to keep my niche with high ticket. Gyms and restaurant, they're more on the low ticket end. So they focus on volume. So you want to look at market size and high ticket. And really just picking your niche is just trialing it as you go. You can change. It's not a death sentence. You can always switch. Right? For example, we switch from jewelry to solar and then to real estate. And we finally stick with real estate.
So you switch from jewelry to solar for, like, I want to know the time frame. For how many months or days were you doing jewelry before you decided to switch to solar? And then for how many days were you doing solar before you decided to switch real estate? Like, what is the time frame? Like, what is the criteria when people should decide to, okay, this is not working, let's switch? Because a lot of people are the object of there is something known as shiny object syndrome, and a lot of people, they suffer from it. So like, how to make sure you're not also suffering from that, and like how to decide that, okay, this is not working, now is the right time to switch my niche?
Yeah, I mean, there's no straight answer, man, because like switching something is not like a switch where you turn it on and off. What we do is that you have a transition period. So when I was serving jewelry, and obviously I was doing prospecting, I was sending DM, I was sending email, right? While I was sending, I also sending it out to solar, and when I get solar client, I also have my jewelry client, so I have both at the same time, and that's what we call transition period. When you have both at the same time, then you know like which one you like better. And I started like the solar guy better because they make decision quickly. They're all about sell. As long as number makes sense, they make decision quickly. And I just like, wow, it's so easier to close solar than jewelry. And slowly I start to tailor my cold outreach and my prospecting towards solar. And slowly, as before you know it, I have more solar client than jewelry. And I just stopped caring about jewelry. I just like, I don't care if you cancel. And that's the same with the real estate. And slowly I start to get into real estate, and then I have real estate and solar at the same time. And I start to lose solar and gain more real estate. And everyone should go through a transition period. There shouldn't be like, oh, Monday I'm gonna go to solar, and then Tuesday I'm gonna go real estate. There's no on and off, black and white switch like that.
Makes sense. And with these high ticket niches like solar and real estate, we have heard that, I have heard that the deals don't go that quickly because it is a high ticket. So like, how do you cope with that?
Yeah, like on the customer end, on the client end, the sales cycle, I think that's what you mean. The sales cycle is long. For example, solar, it might take 30 days and when you speak until you close, and real estate it take 90 days to 6 months. That's on the client end, but on your end it's quite short. Like if a solar guy want marketing campaign, it's yes or no in 3 days. Like, so on the client end it's long, but on your end it's still short. So but on the client end, what you say to your client, just said, it doesn't change anything. If you fill up your pipeline today, right, that will have you sell for the next 3 months, right? What that means that if you can start today and we have the campaign run for 3 months, so that means the next 3 months you're gonna have sales every month, moving onward. So the sooner you start, it's the same, right? You know what I mean? So the sooner you start, the more sales, the more consistent sale you would have in the future, because it takes a 3-month adjustment in your sales cycle.
Yeah, that definitely makes a lot of sense. Okay, because so a lot of people consider that real estate is a competitive niche. It is saturated. It was good if we started in real estate 3 to 4 years ago. It doesn't work as of this date. Is that true?
Actually, that is the same reason why it take me so long to get into real estate. I could have just come to real estate in the first go, but I went to jewelry and I went to solar. That is the reason why it's stopping me to go real estate. And I wish if I can go back in time, I'll tell my younger self, like, it's the better one. It's to go with real estate from the get-go. There's no such thing as competitive niche. It's only such thing as bad offer. So when people with bad offer going to a very crowded, saturated niche, they're gonna get burned so bad. So you guys gotta make sure that you have good offer, and then the saturated niche doesn't really matter, because you can look at drop shipping for sure. It's so saturated, but there's still store that can start and then make 100K a month with drop shipping. So it's really just having a good offer, a good marketing effort, and that would be the competitive niche, because business owner in that niche still looking for solution for sure.
Makes sense. And because what's your main method for getting leads? Is it running paid ads, or is it like cold DMs, cold emails, cold calls? What do you do?
When I first starting out, I did cold call. Man, I all I did is just cold call and go to network event. I don't do that now for sure, because it's not time efficient. I don't think my time is valuable. I don't, it would not be a good use of your time right now. But when you're just starting out, I would recommend doing cold call, going network event, sending out cold email, because those things are free, and it's also help really develop your skill set to become a higher skill entrepreneur. People try to hiring appointment setter when they never do cold call, so you don't really know if the appointment setter is a good appointment setter just because that you haven't done it yourself. But right now we're doing ad. and we're doing content as well. So which is a partnership we have with you guys and your team, AdSense team, to help us generating leads through content, whether short form or long form. And we're also running paid ad as well, because it's very important. If you're gonna sell ad, you gotta be doing ad, because it's not really makes sense that eventually people will call on saying like, if why are you selling ad but you're not doing ad yourself, right? Yeah.
So when starting out, how many cold calls were you making per day?
Geez, man, I have I have a checklist. I print out all of the names and phone number. I think the target I've tried to hit is 100 a day. As long as I make 100 dial every day,
Because a lot of people are like, they just make 5 to 10 and they just give up. Oh, I'm not closing any client. This doesn't work. Switch niche.
Yeah, I mean, for those people, you just need to ask yourself, what is better, like starting on my own business or working at McDonald's or KFC. So you really just have to compare with the alternative, right? Really, would you rather hustle and grind in your own business or go work with somebody else's business? So it's really just that two options for me at that time.
And out of those 100 calls, how many were you converting into appointments on average per day?
Dude, that's quite long ago. I wouldn't have that number in my head right now, but I used to track all of that. But that is a very long time ago. Like I said, I don't do that now. But you should be looking at 20%, man. Like out of all the conversation, like if you have 5 conversations with 5 people, you should be able to book in 1. And same thing, if you book in 5, you should be able to close 1. Now, I still have recording from when I doing this. I mean, like not the first day, but like the first year I was doing some recording. I was looking back at my recording. My English was so bad. Luckily, through all this content making, speaking in front of the camera, helped improve my English. But if I can do it, you guys can do it. That's the first thing I tell my student, especially the Australian student. I said, if I can do it, you should be able to do it, because I start off with really bad accent. So and I was to get appointment with dentists and real estate agents, and I just want to speak to people at that stage. Yeah.
So if someone is looking to make at least 10K per month from the digital marketing agency, I think they can easily do it with 100 cold calls per day.
Maybe it's really depend on like the offer. For example, if you make 100 cold call per day and your offer is $100, it's not you're not gonna make 10K.
At least you should be charging between 1K to 3K.
I would recommend 3 to 5K. That's how we teach people in our program. I would say 3 to 5K. It's really not depending on the cold calls you made. It's really depending entirely mostly on the offer. Like I said, if you make 100 cold call and your offer is 200, you're not going to reach 10K for sure. Yeah. So having an offer that's 3 to 5K, we obviously go through that in depth in the program to make sure that you can actually, afford to be able to ask people for 3-5K. Because you can't really just ask anyone 3-5K. You can't walk to a random in the middle of the street and ask people 3-5K, right? You need to have an offer that value at 20K, and then you ask for 3-5K. Then it's cheap, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we go, one thing I know is that you have removed yourself from the system. Like you don't do outreach, you don't do fulfillment, you don't even take on the sales call, but your whole team is operating. So like, how did it come to that level? What made you come to this level that now you have completely removed yourself from the system? You are traveling after every 3 months and your digital marketing agency is operating at the back end.
Yeah. I don't completely remove myself, man. I would say it's 80% passive. I wouldn't say it's 100%. I still working day to day on managing team, making sure the sales guy hit the target. Obviously, making content is probably like the most time consuming one, but I believe it's gonna pay dividend in the future. So I still have stuff to do. It's not like it's free time every day. But the best thing is that I can choose to do what I like. I like making content, and I like to help the people in my team achieve goal, achieve KPI, and inspire them and motivate them. And I like to do that. That's why I choose to do that. So, and I, if I want to take Tuesday off, I just take Tuesday off. It's that freedom, but I still have work to do. And I believe it's a good thing because if you wake up you got nothing to do, you will fall into depression pretty soon. So but to answer your question, how we get to that stage is just by having a structure in place. You can go into like this software that can allow you to draw mind map. You can draw a mind map. You can break down from CEO. You really need to know how many things that people need to do to run this business, and then assign this thing to people. So you have to establish the what and the who. What need to be done, and then who need to do it. And then that's pretty much all you need to do. We like to keep our team very lean. We have like 2 full-time, and with you guys like 3, and probably another one like 4, probably 4. 4 is enough. Yeah.
Amazing. So Viko, your main business is real estate digital marketing agency, but in your course you tell people how to make money through Saas. So are you actually making money through Saas yourself? Because your business is a digital marketing agency, but why teaching people in the course to make money through Saas?
We actually, if you look closer into our content, we're promoting a hybrid SaaS. So what that means is combining services and software together. So that's why we'll call it a hybrid SaaS. And that's exactly what we did, right? When we start, before, I'm not sure if you know, GoHighLevel is very new. It's 4 years old, right? And before I was just starting, I was just pitching this solar guy and real estate agents, digital marketing agency, offering them lead gens, right? And then they keep churning. So when we start adding GoHighLevel as part of our package, right, people stay on a lot longer because they stick to the software. And that's exactly what we outline in the program, is that we're really just teaching people that how to do a service-based business with a software-based business, normally lead generation and GoHighLevel, right? But you can apply the same thing even with creative agency like you, where you do editing, which is a service-based. If you could implement that with a software somewhere, it doesn't have to be GoHighLevel. If you package that service with a software somewhere, or even with a course, that's when you can see huge retention going up for your client. So that's what we actually really try to put the message out there, is that hybrid SaaS is the way to go. On the other hand, when you look at the pure SaaS model, so you're looking at ClickFunnels, Zoho, and HubSpot, they're offering 14-day free trial, and they're offering 97. Like Zoho is free. They have free and paid plan. ClickFunnels is 97 with 14-day free trial. And like you can't go into a full SaaS because when you're just starting out, you need money, you need cash. And you can't be offering someone 14-day free trial and charge people 97. It's just like, and then jump on a Zoom call with someone for an hour and then get 97. It just doesn't make economic sense. So that's why going full SaaS doesn't make sense if you're just starting out. Now, this company, they have millions of dollars of onboarding and products and onboarding team and customer success team. That's why they can afford to do that. So the moment you go full SaaS, you're competing with Zoho and HubSpot and ClickFunnels. The moment you go full SaaS, that's who you're competing with. So when you go hybrid SaaS, you really don't compete with anyone. You have your own offer, and it's going to be a unique offer, an irresistible offer, especially when you pick a niche. And that offer is only targeted to real estate agent. You really don't compete with anyone. Maybe 2, 3, 4 guys, but you don't have competition at that stage.
Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. And Viko, do you have people in your course who are making $10,000 a month profit, like not revenue?
I don't really ask people profit, man, because our program is more like a done with you program. So we really help and support and answer any question. We give snapshot and template. We help people build, but we don't really ask people individually what their profit is. But we do have Zach hit 80K, and we have Sam that hit 20K. We'll all put them onto our website. Some people get there a lot faster. They pass 10K a lot faster. Some people take forever to even reach 5K. That's really depending on, like you said, like the people willingness to put in the work doing cold call. There's no magic pill, and obviously people experience. So we see some people that start like they are business owner, like they have hair salon and then they get into digital marketing. They can grow a lot quicker because they have all of the experience running business before. Compare that to 16 years old who never start any business. It's gonna be a lot slower because they don't have any previous experience. So having experience and having consistency of putting in the work is very important into reaching 10K and past the 10K mark. And I feel like everyone have that 10K mark. Everyone want to reach 10K. It's like their mark, right? So that's at least that what I see from observing multiple entrepreneurs coming into the program.
Good, that sounds good. And in your course, you talk a lot about appointment setting bot. Like that's something we didn't hear about before all of this AI stuff. So that is it actually profitable, and how can one build an appointment setter bot?
Absolutely. So first, like you can test out appointment booking bot from a lot of software, but at least the one that we teach and the one that we use is GoHighLevel. They have a 30-day free trial. If you go to www.vclize.com/30day, that's 30-day with an S, you can get the free trial, and then you can get the snapshot of the bot with the prompt pre-made, right? The prompt all pre-made, and then you can actually test that out before you start selling it. And that's what we recommend people do, like test it out, have the conversation with the bot with yourself first, and then before you start selling it. It's very profitable, man. If you look at profit, anything that have a low cost that you can sell for very high. Now let's talk about appointment booking bot, right? It's like 7 cents for each text, and that text is being sent to ChatGPT. ChatGPT read the answer and reply back, and including SMS, it's like 4 cents, 4 to 7 cents. I can't remember, but it's really cheap. That's how much it costs. So it's so cheap. But how much can you sell it for? You can sell it for quite a lot, because the frame and the angle we tell people to sell, or at least the one we sell ourselves, is that we'll go to business owner and say, we can replace your appointment setter, right? And if people pay appointment setter, they pay them quite a lot. I mean, appointment setter is not cheap. They're an actual human that you have to pay, and sometimes they get sick, they need a holiday break. This bot doesn't need a holiday break. It doesn't need to eat or sleep, and it's cheaper. Why would anyone say no to that? Just to give you an idea, in the US, people are paying anywhere between 60 to 120K per year for appointment setter. That's just base salary. They probably pay more with commission, right? That's in the US alone. And if you hiring virtual assistant, like let's say in Philippines or Pakistan, you're paying cheaper, but that's still money, right? That's still like 40K to 60K a year, right? So if you have appointment bot and you can sell it for, let's say, $1,000 a month, that's $12,000 a year. That's still, like, compared to the actual human appointment setter, that's still cheap, right? And it doesn't sleep, it doesn't eat, it doesn't need a break, it doesn't complain, it doesn't need managing. So why would anyone say no to that? And that just the number, right? You go to business owner and you talk like, this is the number, and mostly it makes sense as long as your bot is cheaper than the staff, which is easy to explain. But the other thing is the FOMO. In 2024, every business want to hop onto AI. That's why you see Microsoft and Google and all this Apple thing invest so much into AI, because there's a FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out, right? So this big company, they up one, Apple investing millions and Microsoft investing millions, right? So this company, they fear missing out. If I don't invest in AI, the next guy gonna beat me with AI. Even Tesla is investing so heavily on AI. The small business owner are the same. So you can say, hey, if you're not investing in AI right now, the guy next door will invest in AI and he's gonna beat you. He's gonna use the same AI, gonna kill you. So that's the second thing. You can use AI is so trending because there's FOMO going on. It's so new. Like, dude, like in 2022, the AI doesn't exist. It's like 2 years ago. Before ChatGPT, no one know anything about AI. So you can sell it super easily because it's trending, it's FOMO, and the number just makes sense. The number just makes sense.
And I think the one thing people fear a lot and the misconception is that AI is gonna beat them. But I think the people, your competitors who are gonna use AI in their systems, they are gonna beat you. AI itself cannot do anything.
Yeah, yeah. So it's the quote, right? Is that you're not gonna be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by someone who use AI. So that's the famous quote that floating around in the internet. I completely believe that that's true, man. So yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. And Vico, who was your mentor when you started all this business? And like, what's the benefit of having mentor?
That's a good thing, man. Like they all stopped doing mentoring now. Like most of my mentor, like they all like out of business. They doing other stuff. I'm not saying like out of business, not saying that they broke or they went homeless. They just not in the coaching space anymore. But yeah, honestly, I think when you're starting a business, you have to pay. You either pay with money or you pay with time. So if you pay someone money, that means you can skip the time phase. You can get to your goal maybe in shorter time, in 2-3 months. But if you pay with your time, it may take you 6 months to a year to actually get to your goal. So you have to pay either with your money or your time. You just have to accept that. The sooner you accept that, the better. I have both. I was very come from conservative Asian family. Money is all about saving money, and money is very tight. I see money as God, so I didn't invest until like my second year or third year into business. So I was trying to do everything myself, and I invest. My first course is $9.97, which is typical. With this guy, his name is Michael Lauren, and I think. Yeah, I mean, like program back then is just a video, man. It's just a bunch of video. There's not much help or support. And I still think that's valuable because I get to network and meet other people. Some of them, I never see again. Some of them still friends till this day. And then my biggest investment was 10K, right? 10K. And looking back at it, how I invest right now is just I would prefer to pay someone 1 hour for their time and just speak. I don't really do like a whole program anymore. I would find that's more helpful for me, so I can pay multiple people and just ask for the time. I like to do that. Just say if I know someone or I think they know more than me, I'll just reach out. Hey, do you have time for a call? I'll just pay you. How much do you charge per hour, and then I just pay them, and then they jump on a call. And I find that's more helpful than going to the entire program. At least this is the stage. But if you're just starting out, it's probably more beneficial for you to commit to a program, because if you're just starting out, first of all, you probably don't have the wisdom and the knowledge to know who's good or who's bad. And getting different people opinion all shooting at you at once will actually confuse you, and it will do more damage than good. So I'm just saying this is what I'm doing right now. But when you're starting out, listen to one guy, stick to one program and one method, because any method will work, honestly. Like running ads still get you to $1 million. Doing content will get you to $1 million. Doing cold email still getting you to $1 million. You gotta stick with one guy, one method when you're just starting out. Right? I'm doing this because it's just different phase. So you have to take what I say into context and take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that completely makes sense, man. Absolutely. Vigo, do you follow any kind of monk mode?
I'm not sure what that means, actually. No. I'm been just listening to Alex Hormozi and been just like applying what he said. He said he doesn't have any morning routine, He just get up and do the fucking work, right? So just get up and do the work. There's no shortcuts like no fab, no something like that. It's just like get up and do the work. The work need doing. You work the work, and I've been just listening to that. I used to do meditations. It was very strict, morning routine meditation. Right now, if I feel like it, if I feel stressed out and I feel anxiety, I'll do meditation, but wasn't really a strict thing to meditate. It just get up, do the work, and also plan ahead. So I always try to plan a day in advance. So I plan what I want to do tomorrow, today. That's very, very important.
All right, all right. And do you believe in burnout?
Yeah. I mean, I do believe in burnout. Yeah.
Like, what do you do? Like, well, once you get burnout in your business?
Well, that's why I always take a break every 2-3 months. So sometimes 2 months, sometimes 3 months, but never more than 3. So I always just fly somewhere, take a 1-week break. And you can hear Bill Gates do this, like a famous story of Bill Gates always take a break, and then he go to a mountain with no internet, no Wi-Fi, with just a book and a pen, and he come back with full of ideas. Elon Musk also doing that. So as long as you have opportunity to step back, and when you step back, you know that you want to focus on doing what you like. If you do the thing you hate, because business is actually not just running business have different things that you have to do. You have prospecting, you have sales call, you have client result, you have hiring, you have interviewing. So you want to make sure that you're doing the thing that you like and you outsource the thing that you hate. So and that's what helped with burnout a lot. And obviously mindfulness, like meditations and exercise and going to the gyms and all that stuff will help also.
Absolutely. And now I have a very interesting question for you. Like, in your Insta stories, you mentioned a lot on eating insects to gain protein. Like, what's the logic behind that? Because for people in US, it is something extremely uncommon. And like, man, how do insects taste like?
Yeah, man. I'm actually posting that to get view. So yeah, I was just really testing it out to whether it gets traction, because like Andrew Tate, right? You want to post something controversy to see if you get a view. But I don't eat it every day, man. But it is common. Like you could just like go to the market, or it's on the street, or on the shopping. Like people sell it everywhere. It is quite common, but I don't eat it every day. Yeah, I think it tastes like chips. Like if you eat like the Pringle chip, it tastes like crunchy like that, because they take the insect, they deep fry it. So and I think I mean, like you can Google search it. It's really great source of protein. And if you get your protein from cow, first they're more expensive, and they produce a lot of greenhouse gas. But I mind you, I still eat cow, I still eat beef and all that stuff. But insects are nice. Like they taste nice, they cheap, and like you can definitely benefit from them for sure.
Amazing, really insightful.
Yeah.
And because when entrepreneurs are starting out in their early 20s, should they avoid dating while they're building their business?
It's really depend on how old you are, man. If you're 16, 17, definitely probably don't need that. But obviously around your age or my age, you can slowly integrating dating into your business. It's really depend on what you want as well. Because if you just so focused on your business, you're gonna end up with one of those guys that make a lot of money when you're old, but really don't have any meaningful partner, and the only partner you have is someone that obviously you paid for their company, and you paid for like more like workers and all that stuff. So I don't want to end up like that guy. I'm sure no one want to end up like one of those guys. So and one of the things that no one mentioned is that dating is actually a skill set, right? It's just like marketing. Like you need to learn how to be attractive. So have proper haircut, have proper grooming. and then you go on a date and try to have conversation with people. That's like prospecting. And when you go out and all that stuff, you have prospecting, conversion. And when you actually, just like business, the more date you go, the more better you get. Like, it's like the more sales call you attend, the more better you get. So the more date you go, the more better you get in terms of your social skill, your attractive skill, and your I guess your man skill. So the moment I see it as a skill, that's mean if I date, I really just investing on that skill. So that's mean when I date, it's actually count as self-improvement. And no one think about it that way. If you think of dating as self-improvement, that means you go on a lot more date and you be more positive about it, right? It's not wasting your time because it's self-improvement. It's personal development. So it's not really a waste of time. And you gotta have something to do outside business. And I believe that, because that's the question with burnout, right? If you only just focus on business, you don't have anything else, you will get to burnout very quickly.
Definitely makes sense, man. So you have made a lot of money to this point. So now if you were to find a partner, how would you make sure that she's not there in for money? I mean, not a gold digger.
Yeah, I mean, like, I guess like when like, for example, if you were doing sales call and you're doing so many sales call, let's say you're doing 200 sales call, when you on a sales call with your 201 client, you would have an idea if this guy a time waster or they are a legit prospects. You know what I mean? So same as with date, the more date you go, the more girls you meet, you have an idea, like just intuition, and then like if she's really like you or she really like you for your money. So it's just experience, right? You're having experience with girls, but it's quite obvious to tell. Really, it's quite straightforward whether someone in it for the money or they just really like you for who you are. Yeah, I mean, business is also people person. So the skill you have in business also translates to dating, and the skill you have dating also translates to business. So it's quite overlapping. For me, it's very easy. It's really just, yeah, it's quite easy because you could just tell straight away from just reading people. And once you're actually dating, you actually get to know them, and then that's all even more obvious. Yeah.
All right, man. That sounds really insightful once again. All right, Vico, it was really pleasure to have you on the podcast today. We learned a lot, and we plan on continue doing this episode every week where we are interviewing different entrepreneurs. So, any final words?
No, man. Thank you for having me. If anyone want to, I guess, like, know more about No Code Saas, just check out, our Instagram page, and yeah.
And like, comment the word 2 behind this video. We will send you that free course.
Yeah.